excuse me, when I did have my husband and three boyfriends, each of the three boyfriends brought something different for me. They were all different from my husband. They were all different from each other. My husband was a Black American, and one boyfriend was a Black Cuban. The other one was Ukrainian. And then I did have another Black American, but he was a guy from the South. He was a Southern guy. My husband was from the North. So just their approach to me and how our relationship was. One loved to travel, one didn't love to travel. One loved to cook, one didn't love to cook. It was everything that was different. And I'm like most people, I'm multifaceted, and no one person will check all of the boxes.
Right.
Now, if we're lucky, we can find someone that checks all the important boxes, and then that's good enough. That there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You got someone that checks most of your boxes. The rest of that stuff, especially if the other things like, well, he doesn't cook. You're like, I don't could care less if he cooks.
Right.
Okay.
I just had to throw that out because I was curious if you ever said, you know what, I'm gonna hang this up and I'm just gonna stick with one guy. But the way you laughed at me, clearly
even imagine being with just. I just can't. Like I said, I could like during COVID. Me and the Cuban it's just kind of because everything was kind of shut down, so it was kind of just the two of us for about a year or so. But even then, we kind of was at the swinger parties, kind of hanging out with folks. But even though everything was going to be shut down, the swingers were not shut down for long.
They said, "We're not shutting this down."
They didn't. They were just at the parties with their mask on. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. But no, I don't. I could never imagine being with one. I don't want to be the center of anyone's world either.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
I don't want to be someone's one and only. I'm like, don't you have something to do? Somebody to go see or date or take a weekend away with the fellas. Go somewhere. Get from up underneath me. Go somewhere. Go have some fun. You need some condoms? Take them with you. Like, here's some lube. Bye. Don't be up underneath me all the time. I don't.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Well, being the owner of a sex toy store, my men do get the benefits of, an unlimited supply of condoms, but also toys and, and some of my guys, who have
benefits, huh?
My guys who do have partners are like, oh, her birthday's coming. Like, well, pick something out. And you still got to pay for it, but because it ain't for me, but pick something out and get something for your girl, and wish her a happy birthday from me, because if my partner has a partner, they know who I am and I know who they are. I am no one's secret. So yeah.
I like that. I am no one's secret.
No.
So I want to ask, why do you see this conversation coming up more in midlife than earlier in life? And I'm talking about the whole non-monogamy. Do you see more people, not just women, but people coming to you in midlife saying, I want to learn how to have these conversations. I want to, I want to try something different more than you see it in younger people?
Yes, they come to me because one, I'm older, right? And so I'm closer in age to them, but most of us will come into one type of ethical non-monogamy or the other because we are more confident in ourselves and we are more knowledgeable about ourselves and what it is we want. Okay. When we start getting to the point where we have more doors closed behind us than we have opening in front of us, we start going, now, wait a minute. Is this the way I want to spend the rest of my life, the remainder? Even if that happens at 40, because you could live to be 100, right? You got 60 something years, but depending on your family, you're like, I may only live to be 80. Right. I may only live to be 70. So now I only got 30 more years. So is this the way I want to live the remainder of my life? Who else needs to know about how I'm running my life? I'm paying my own bills. I'm taking care of myself. This is something my partner and I desire, that we have talked about.
Right.
And with the internet being so available to everybody, to be able to see people posting about polyamory and polygyny and, polyandry and the lifestyle and swinging and the resorts. And they're like, well, if not now, when?
Yeah.
When am I going to venture into these things that I've seen about, read about, heard about? I know somebody who knows somebody, but there are a lot more younger people who are polyamorous
Right.
early in their 20s, and I've met people they're like, I've been poly all my life. I didn't know what it was called until I was 30, but I've never had just one boyfriend. I've always had two boyfriends. And then, I have a couple of friends who are in denial. I'm not poly. I'm like, girl, I just saw you with two men at the same time and they didn't know each other. I said, you're not ethical, but you are definitely poly. You're definitely non-monogamy because you're dating two guys and those two guys don't know that you're dating them, but you keep saying, no, I'm not, as if there's something wrong with being poly. But the
Right.
challenge is learning to be ethical.
Yeah.
That is the challenge that most people, when they come to me for coaching, is helping them to learn to really tell their partner what they want,
Yeah.
to be radically honest, to communicate authentically. That is the biggest challenge when we don't want to hurt our partner's feelings. We don't want to say, that 6'2" brother over there, I really want to just bend over the couch just a little while. I'm gonna come home though.
Right.
Or your husband, like, listen, the new barista at the Starbucks, baby, tiny little waist, and she got all that. Oof, I just over the couch, just one time, just wow. Because in monogamy, we've been taught that if our partner so much as looks at somebody else,
Right.
that is some kind of, like, the person is human. We're human. We're going to have needs, wants, and desires. Just
Right.
because you have that desire doesn't mean you have to act upon it, but to act like it doesn't exist and you shouldn't have it, not only does it build resentment for some people, not everyone, but you tamper down something that is naturally who you are and what you want.
Right.
And this, I did a post recently about this whole idiotic thing about emotional cheating, and it's a made up phrase, right? Emotional cheating. It's made up because some wonderful coach or therapist made that phrase up instead of telling, because we don't really need another form of cheating, do we? Right?
Right.
Instead of teaching the people how to emotionally manage themselves, we give them another way. Oh, that's just emotional cheating. It's like, no, it's not. Your partner, you are not your partner's emotional support animal. Right?
Okay.
We are supposed to be autonomous, even in our relationship. And you cannot fulfill every need, want, and desire your partner
Right.
has as much as we have been told that we should. You are my everything. You complete me. You are the sun, the stars, the moon, the table. It's like, no, sometimes your partner has needs, wants, and desires, an emotional need that you are not able or are unwilling to fulfill. Maybe it is his best friend or her best friend that they need to talk to about this thing that's happening in their head. Maybe it is a coworker because the coworker has a real understanding of what's happening at the job. Maybe it is an uncle or a sister or an aunt that they need to talk to, and you're upset because they didn't come to you. Let them talk to somebody else. You don't have to be their emotional support animal. You want someone to have a village of people, a community that they can talk to, that you don't have to sit there and suck everything up and try to figure out things that you may not even be in position to support or assist them with because of your own skill set and your own experience or lack thereof. So they made up this phrase to give us one more thing to try to lock our partner down with instead of letting this person find a community of support somewhere else. You can be there where you can be there,
Right.
but you can't support them in everything. And so it's a made up phrase, and it's just one more thing for us to be insecure about.
That's
It's just
true.
another insecurity to hop on. So you're over there, and don't be telling people our business. And that whole don't tell people our business, that also came from slavery. because there was a time that if you told your business, that could get you sold, beat, killed.
Yeah.